What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man. I want to break down some new developing issues around the Shannon Sharpe situation. Remember my video that I did this past Sunday where I talked about that Shannon Sharpe has a past where he has gotten into trouble domestically with women. He had a girlfriend that he was with for about a decade. She ended up filing or attempting to file a restraining order against him. Once again, he became upset with her, allegedly, due to the fact that she called him an infidelity, just like the OnlyFans girl became upset over the fact that he had that IG live where he was sex with a woman. That's kind of how this whole thing got started in terms of her having her fallout with him. Well, in the woman that he was with back in 2010 when he was at CBS, she filed her complaints on Sharpe. So I said he had a history, but now the story gets even more crazier because the Sun news report, the U.S. Sun has come out with a breaking story that Shannon Sharpe, back in 1995 and 2004, he had a run-in once again with two women that both had to file a complaint on him, call the police, in which he got arrested. Let me go over this right now. This is crazy. Shannon Sharpe was arrested at least twice for alleged assault of two women, decades before this situation with this OnlyFans woman, Gabby, right? Who he has put out text messages of her being sort of freaky and talking about dog collars and all this sort of stuff, right? But then Shannon Sharpe's got some issues too. Okay, he's telling her, "Hey, I'll choke you," all this little weird stuff here, right? But check this out. Decades ago, two different women before this whole situation took place, U.S. News exclusively revealed that the famous ex-NFL football player plus media personality was charged with battery back in, like I said before, in 1995 and 2004. So this man was arrested at one point in time. Bottom line is, if this is all true, because this is all being alleged, coming out by the U.S. News, Sun News is saying this, if this is all true, it will not bode well for him going forward in a court trial if this goes to court. If he doesn't get this young lady to take any money, because he offered her $10 million and she turned that down. If they go to court, you know they're going to bring out all the dirt in his background when it comes to him having these issues with women. What I'm also noticing is that there's a pattern here. He's been having a lot of these issues with white women that he has been involved with, whatever the reasons. Let me go on to say that. Let me read this right here for you guys. On one incident, Shannon Sharpe, 56 years old, got into an altercation, a situation with a woman in Atlanta in her home in 1995. This is the first one, okay? A police spokesperson said at that time that each said that they were hit by each other. So this woman hit him, he hit her, okay? As a result, okay, both Sharpe and the woman, whom the United States Sun News has chosen not to name her at this particular time, was charged with simple battery, both of them, okay? The woman was also charged with destruction of property after she allegedly broke some glasses and things, according to a spokesperson at this time. A spokesperson speaking to, in this case, at this time, the Washington Post. At this time, this is in 1995. Let's go on to the next situation. Less than a decade later, that would be the 2004 incident. Decade later, First Take star Shannon Sharpe found himself facing a similar charge stemming from an incident with yet another woman in Atlanta. Man's got a problem with women in Atlanta, it looks like, allegedly. A Fulton County clerk, okay, confirmed to the United States Sun News that Sharpe was charged with simple battery back in 2004. This would be back in July 2022. Sharpe's got some issues here, or has had some issues, allegedly, if this is all true. A woman claimed that Sharpe lifted her up physically, whoa, and removed her from his home. The alleged incident occurred in June, and the woman reported this to the police 2 weeks later after this incident took place. Let me go on with the next part of this report. This is breaking news, okay? Then he reportedly turned himself in, everybody, and was thrown in jail. He posted bail for about $1,000 bond less than 24 hours later. This is Shannon Sharpe. This is Shay. This is Nightcap. This is the man that has taken sports media by storm, was supposed to sign looks like $100 million contract with, I believe, ESPN. That's sort of like in limbo right now. Of course, he had to step down from ESPN and take some time away. They're telling about he's taking time away, but we know that ESPN didn't sign up for this situation that Sharpe has brought to the table. And this is a man that's 56 years old, a grown-ass man, and you would think that he would be able to handle his affairs better than this, given the fact that he's in the spotlight. This man's been in the spotlight for many years as a professional athlete, a personality in sports radio talk, or he was on the CBS broadcast before they let him go in that situation because of the fact that apparently Sharpe had a run-in with one of his girlfriends of a decade, Mrs. Evans. And I think I spoke about that in my video this past Sunday. Let me continue on here with this report from the U.S. Sun News report here. It says the attorney at the time claimed that Mr. Sharpe very appropriately and lawfully simply picked her up. Now, come on, when you pick somebody up, that whole statement is capped right there. He simply was delicate with her, picked her up, and removed her from his home gently outside of the home. Now, come on now, gently outside. Man, this is a big man here. The case was ultimately resolved in mediation, y'all. That's why we didn't know about all this stuff, right? The Atlanta court clerk told the United States Sun News report that they believe that both cases have since been expunged. So this is something that happened back in one, he had an incident in 1995, two, he had an incident in 2004. And of course, these things got expunged off his record because I guess both individuals at this time were women, him with these women, they were hitting him or they were in a battle with him. He was in a battle with them. He claimed that the one woman that he took out of his home, that he picked her up. Well, no, the lawyer claimed that Shannon Sharpe gently picked her up and put her outside of his house. This is crazy stuff, y'all. This is crazy stuff. Let me go on and read here. When contacted by the U.S. Sun News, Sharpe lawyers said in a statement it should be of no surprise. I want to get this right. It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people will come crawling out of the woodworks to share their connection to that person to attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. Now, check this out. These two women in question that he had these running in 2004 and 1995, there's no mention that they were asking for money. There's been no mention of that in the reports here that I've been looking at. Let me just go on and say this. In many cases, those stories, accusations are nothing more than old news, fabricated, right? Exaggerated, or sometimes misrepresented to the public. Now, look, the man either did this allegedly or he didn't. But apparently this is something that was researched by this news publication, and they said that Shannon Sharpe did this. Now, the fact that his lawyer said to the press that people are looking to get a payday off of Shannon Sharpe, that tells me that these incidents did happen. Because if they didn't happen, his lawyer emphatically would say, ladies and gentlemen, hey, my client is innocent. He didn't do any of these things. You've got the wrong man. Come on, leave Shannon Sharpe alone. That would be very clear if that would be the case. Okay. I just wanted to leave it right there. That's my report. Shannon Sharpe has got a lot of shit going on with him. You know, this is all going to come out if this goes to court. I wonder if they're going to put it on TV for us all to see this when it goes to court. Apparently, also, people are saying that the P. Diddy trial is going to be starting sometime soon, and that maybe once that gets started, nobody will be thinking about Sharpe. Another thing that's come out is that, remember, Sharpe had this fashion stylist that was hanging out with him at basketball games on the court. They seemed to have a close relationship. And then there was this whole rumor that Sharpe might be gay, he may be homosexual. And then all of a sudden, when these allegations came out against him, or these allegations or these alleged thoughts that people had about Sharpe that he might be gay, and that the stylist, I think he goes by the name Hollywood, was gay and might have been in a relationship with Sharpe. Sharpe quickly, some kind of way, how can I say this? Sharpe distanced himself from this young man, and we hadn't really heard of this young man since. Well, there's rumors out there all over the social media, alleged rumors that this individual, let me put him up here real quick so that you can see who I'm talking about right here. And this is Hollywood. You see, he's sitting with him at the ball games, and people are saying, why is a grown man like Sharpe hanging out with this guy like this, and they're wearing very unusual clothing? And here's another picture of him right here. He goes by the name Hollywood. There was some talk about him being on a reality show, but right now the rumor is that he's putting out receipts that maybe him and Shannon Sharpe were, let's just say Shannon Sharpe may have been batting for both teams, women and men, that he might have been slapping these cheeks of this guy right here, because this guy has put out some cryptid messaging in his social media about Sharpe. That's what's out there on the social media streets. We have to see if this is all true, but this is not a good time for Sharpe at all, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the guy right there. You probably recognize him. With that said, this is the Information Man Show. This is just wanted to give this report to you all. Y'all take care. Peace. We're going to keep these pre-produced videos rolling. Everybody, I want to say to you, tell somebody that you love them. Peace.